actors are just actors, and we get to play a variety of things, and it isn't about like politics or identity anymore, because that to me is not, nobody gets in this business for that.
Ben knew that the technology wasn't ready.
Can you hear me?
Why did he leave? Find out what he's there to do and bring him home.
Now, this is a great show. I love the original, and I really love what they're doing here, where they kind of like intermingle the old show and this show. I just got caught up with all the 3 other episodes, and I'm really liking it. And congratulations, you just got picked up for more episodes. So you can have a complete season. Were you excited when you heard the news?
Yeah, it's we're all very excited. It feels like the perfect amount of time to spend, on this chunk of the world building that we're doing. So I'm really grateful for the last 6.
So coming in, were you aware of it? Were you a fan, or did you have to go back and rewatch?
Somewhere in between. I was aware of the show. I had seen episodes of it and loved it. But it was never a series that I like sat down and watched from beginning to end. So getting this role kind of gave me the opportunity to dig back into it and refamiliarize myself with it. And it's so much fun. It's so much fun to watch the original, especially in seeing how it affects our version, because it was a deeply groundbreaking show that opened the doors for a lot of really needed conversations at the time. And it was very boundary breaking. And so I'm excited to see how we continue to grapple with that responsibility, and how our show in a modern context, is capable of doing similar things. And the team that they've put together with this show, I think all deeply understand the responsibility that we have. And so it's exciting, because who doesn't want to put more positivity in the world and entertain people in a way that also allows them to experience the world and people that they may or may not get to hear from all the time.
I love your character. We know you from Hedwig and the Sandman and all these other roles, but they're very over the top, right? And here we get to see you play a scientist. So, I mean, how is it groundbreaking for you as an actor, and then for others to see themselves, hey, finally I'm being represented sort of in a normal way, like just in normal context,
That to me is really radical, because oftentimes trans and non-binary characters are very much so like supportive roles that don't have major influence on the main story, or they're people that are really rooted in traumatic events and in coming out, and like all of these kinds of things that I think we've sort of been trained to expect certain tropes of queer characters. And for Ian to exist on a show like this, opposite someone like Ernie Hudson, who's just like a masterclass of a human, it's really wonderful to see characters like that coexist, because it does represent the world that I know. It represents the friends that I have. It represents the people that I know that work in tech and work in the government. It's not this homogenized, like whitewashed idea of humanity. Like really, the world is way more diverse and inclusive than I think some people even realize in their day-to-day life. So I find that to be a really exciting and profound thing, just the inclusion of Ian on the team, and the fact that like they aren't there for any other purpose other than they're the smartest person in the room. Like that person is there because they earned their way there. And that feels very true to a lot of trans and non-binary people that I know. Like their experiences, you have to work twice as hard, 3 times as hard, because you're so much more limited in the access and in the chances that people are willing to take on you, because of the way that the world just kind of functions. And so it's cool to see Ian as a character having worked their way up to where they are, and not having to have a monologue every episode about their identity. It's refreshing as an actor.
Yeah, I think it's a great time for television. I'm still shocked that, and networks and places like Disney, they're continuing on, even though you have the woke mob, because I always thought they would cave into the the minority voices, but they're not. They're keeping on going. Like Big Sky, Jesse James Keitel, another great character on television. I'm just shocked. Are you shocked that Hollywood is taking the chance and just doing it regardless of what people are trying to do and take them down?
Yeah, I'm really, it fills me with a lot of pride and excitement for where things are headed, mainly, because every chance that, especially on a network level, because that reaches a very specific demographic in a really cool way, network television, we're invited into people's living rooms, and you get to have conversations every week it just functions in a format that it can affect people in a very specific way. And so I'm really grateful that all of these, no matter why they're doing it, no matter which company, what the ulterior motives or whatever it is, like just the fact that we are a part of the conversation now, that every day that we kind of push forward a little bit more and get a little more inclusive in front of the camera and also behind the camera, I think it's just going to change things for the better, and hopefully get us to a nice place where things start to balance out, and actors are just actors, and we get to play a variety of things, and it isn't about like politics or identity anymore, because that to me is not, nobody gets in this business for that. And like, none of my trans or non-binary friends that are in this business like are interested in that. Like we want to just kind of exist. We want to be the in of a show. We want to be able to just be there without there having to be, a Twitter storm and like all of these people that are just so angry and upset that you even are present. And I think that we're moving in that direction, hopefully. So time will tell, obviously, but I'm optimistic.
Yeah, and Ian is a great representation of that. And I'm assuming you're going to shoot the remaining episodes. Do you have scripts yet? Because there's a mystery. It's more than the original, is where you have this mystery. You have this like antagonist who's kind of messing with the timelines and stuff like that. So what can you tell us, or what can you tease that's going to happen there?
Well, as of now, we're only on 9. We're in the middle of shooting 9 right now, and 4 just came out. So we're not too far ahead of what's actually airing on television. So we're learning things only a few weeks, sooner than an audience is learning things, which is really exciting and also really terrifying at the same time. So there isn't a lot of like, as an actor, I'm taking it day by day. So I don't necessarily know. I mean, I have an idea of what's happening. I'm very excited for the last chunk of episodes, but yeah, as of now, we're not even there yet.
Yeah, that was a great twist, having Al's daughter be the antagonist. And I was like, oh my God, this show is so much better than I ever imagined it could be.
Yeah, it's well layered. It's really cool that there's so many connections to the original in a way that feels very organic and very like natural and exciting to me as an audience member. So it's fun getting to live in that world a bit and go like, okay, so then how does that affect this? And, in our version and in our timeline, and maybe we'll see this person. Yeah, it's fun to kind of daydream about all the possibilities.
Yeah, it's a cool show. I'm glad I watched more of it to interview you. And I'm like, oh my God, this is a really good show. I'm going to keep watching just to find out. They hooked me, so I'm going to keep watching.
I'm glad. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much for your time, and congratulations.
Thanks so much. It's nice to meet you.